What's going on, guys? Zanphe here, bringing you a squad builder which is extremely overpowered. It's great for like FUT champions and just divisions in general. It's a really good overpowered sweaty squad. So the formation is 4-3-2-1, which I took the long way to find, but yeah, it's a really good formation, my favourite this year, and I do really enjoy playing with it. If you use the right custom tactics, which I will show you later in the video, and you will win a lot of games with this formation, depending on your players also. But the goalkeeper for this squad is Pepe Reina. Now, I don't know if I like this guy too much. He wasn't the greatest goalkeeper I've ever used. He made a lot of silly mistakes, but at the same time he did make good saves, and he is useful considering how I had to use him in the hybrid. So going on to the right back, I used a right wing back, which is my bad, but it is Bruno Perez. He is a very quick player, and I put the whole chemistry style on him because it improves his pace, shooting and physical, which, to be honest, it gave him insane long shots, which wasn't really needed, but the physical and pace really helped because I like my right backs and left backs to sit back, so like the strength and the pace to get in behind, because he sweeps out and covers for behind the centre backs. It's really useful, and he can shove people off the ball a little bit easier with the extra strength. So going on to the left back, I have Papa Suarez. Now Papa Suarez, he's mainly here for chemistry. I didn't put a chemistry style on him actually because I thought a bit of a boost all around would help him, as it did actually in game. It did help him, but yeah, he is like a really quite solid player. He can like take free kicks. He did score a free kick for us. He's 5'10", which is quite useful because I like my players to be a bit taller on the wing, because when they cross it in, there's nothing worse than having like a 5'6" midget next to Ibra. But yeah, he is a solid defender. He's what I wanted for the squad, and he works for chemistry, as you'll see in a second. So going to the next player, I have Koulibaly. Now, he is one of my favourite players this year, hands down. Make sure you put like the shadow card or the anchor card on him, preferably the shadow, because he is 6'5" and he gets pace and defending with this card. So like, he ends up with insane pace, as you can see, and insane defending. And to be honest, he's a bit of a brick wall. He's not as good with his feet, but yeah, he is a really good player. Little downsides, high work rates, but it can be worked around. So going into the next player I used, it is Rudiger, Antonio Rudiger. So yeah, he is a bit better with his feet than Koulibaly. He's not as like strong and tall, but yeah, he is a bit faster, and his defending isn't as good, but it's corrected with the shadow work rate, so it ends up more than enough. He's a big strong player, and yeah, he's got the medium high work rates, which is really good for a centre back, and I do enjoy playing with this defensive partnership here because, to be honest, they're absolute animals. Going into the right centre mid, I am using Jeffrey Kondogbia. Now, he's an absolute animal in midfield because I like to use the two defensive midfielders. So Jeffrey Kondogbia, absolute animal, because he doesn't score many goals. He did assist quite a few actually. He plays some good through balls. He's quite good with his feet, but with the anchor chemistry style on, he's quite a bit quicker, and he's stronger, better at defending, and he's just a kind of like, he's not a CDM, but he plays like one, which is what I wanted in game. So going into the next centre mid is actually a CDM, but yeah, he's an absolute rock. He's one of the main parts of the squad for me. It is Wanyama. So Wanyama, I don't even know how to describe this guy. Like, he doesn't do much attacking wise, but defensive wise, he's an absolute animal. With that extra pace, defending, and physical, that 99 strength, he's got such amazing defensive stats and decent pace with the anchor card on him. he's what you want in midfield. I mean, he does only have 2-star skills, so you can't even roulette with him, but medium high work rates means he's sitting back just in front of the defence, even when he's playing in centre mid, and he's the player that you want there. Now, to utilise these players here, I recommend you watch towards the end, because I've used the custom tactics and the player instructions on how to get the most out of every player and get the team flowing. The next player I'm going to use is Dele Alli. Now, Dele Alli is tall, he's strong, he's pretty all round. He's my more attacking midfielder, and that's saying something, because he can go forward but he can also get back when he's needed, and that 75 pace, which is also increased, means he's quite fast, he gets good long shots and great, he's just strong all round. He's a big player in the team, but he doesn't really contribute goals wise and assist wise. He got 3 assists, but it's not really much, but I do enjoy playing with him nevertheless. Now, that's just kind of the way I play with this team, because I like to sit back and then counter with the 3 players you're about to see. So going into the left forward, it's probably the player that cost us the most in the team, but he's definitely worth it. You can use his normal version if you want, but it's Heung-min Son. Now, he's an absolutely fantastic player, and with the Hunter card on him, he's got high 90s pace and shooting, great finishing. The 5-star weak foot really helps him. Like, you don't know which one he's going to shoot with, because he can shoot with both. He doesn't prefer a foot, he just, I don't know, it's hard to describe him. He's a fantastic player. He didn't get as many goals as I thought he had, because it felt like a lot more, but he did get a few assists as well. He contributed a lot to the team, counter-attacking wise, and just with his general pace and shooting. He was the player that I loved one of the most in this team. Not my favourite, as you'll see my favourite in a minute, but yeah, he is a very good player and I would recommend him, but you can also get his normal card if you want. Now, going on to the next player, it is a right winger. I keep having people in the wrong position. It's not recommended, but I don't know. But next player is Biabiani. Now, the Deadeye card gets him shooting and passing, which is useful for Biabiani, because I didn't really need much of a pace upgrade. However, he needed like an upgrade in his shooting and passing to help with counter-attacks and, you know, scoring goals, which it did help a little bit, because he did get 9 goals in 42 games with 9 assists added onto that. So he was a useful player for my team. Like, his finishing let him down sometimes, but what can you expect for a player that costs you 750 coins? He works for chemistry, and overall he's a great player, and I would recommend him actually. A downside to him is 3-star skills, but obviously I don't really skill that much this year, because it slows the play down when I'm trying to counter-attack, which is obviously how I like to play this year, especially in FUT Champions. And the last player in the squad is my favourite player in the squad. It is Niang, who is an absolute animal, just trust me. With the Hawk Hunter card on him, he's an absolute animal. I used the Hawk card on him, and his stats are just as good, but I'd probably recommend the Hunter, because he doesn't need as much on the strength side. I would more prefer extra shooting and pace, which would take him up to 90-yard pace, probably 99 to be honest. But yeah, he's got 62 goals in 98 games, which is an extremely good record, considering most of my games with this team were played in FUT Champions. And yeah, overall he can contribute so much to the team. He's such a lethal finisher when you get it. Like, forget his shooting, he's better than most of the strikers I've played with. If you shoot across the goal with him, it's just about in every time. He's nice and tall, he can head the ball, and he's what you want from a striker this year. Now I'm going to go into the custom tactics and player instructions and stuff to help you with the team. So with the player instructions, I'll start at the back. For my 2 wing backs, I'm going to set them to stay back while attacking and normal interceptions. This is because, like, when you've got a team like this and you want to be counter-attacking, you don't want your full-backs rushing forward every time, because at times it could leave you with 2 at the back and they're counter-attacking and it doesn't end well. I'm not a fan of that, so I like my full-backs to stay back. Normal interceptions just means that they're not rushing out every time to get the ball, but if there is a chance to intercept in front of the defence or out wide, then they will go for it, they won't just hesitate. So for the two centre backs, you want to stay back while attacking, but you want conservative interceptions, because if one of your centre backs goes rushing out to intercept a ball and doesn't get it, then it makes it easy for your opponent to play it through the back, which is obviously like one of the main ways that people score, is like a through ball through the defence and a quick striker running onto it. So for your two midfielders on the right and centre, you want to set them for stay back while attacking and normal interceptions, stick to position. Now, you just leave the rest the same. It's literally just like stay back while attacking. Now, you want these to stay back while attacking. They will go forward sometimes, but it means that you've got two midfielders back at all times to cover. And it means that if Dele Alli goes forward on the attack, then you've got 4 players forward, 2 in midfield and 4 in defence, which is more than enough to stop any counter-attacks. And I find this like a really useful tactic, because they are quite defensive midfielders, and to be honest, they would be good in a CDM role, which is basically what they're playing when you put stay back while attacking on them. Now, Dele Alli, you want balanced attack, and then you want to go down to free roam, which means if he does drop in, then he'll end up in like a cam roll ahead. So yeah, you just want balanced attack on him. You don't want like defensive or attacking, because you don't want him to go rushing forward, because like you want the team to move as a unit. Now that's what you want for Dele Alli. Now for Biabiany, you want him to have balanced width, you want him to get in behind, and you want aggressive interceptions. You also want to press the back line, because these three basically play as 3 strikers, with the 2 a little bit wider and Niang stay in the middle, but they will keep switching all over. So that is a good thing, because they'll make runs and different runs to what the defenders would expect in the opponent. So it is very good. Now you want to do the same for Son. You want him to balance with getting behind. You want him to have aggressive interceptions with that pace, because with the pace he will run onto any through ball, and it won't disjoint the team if he's out of position. And you want him to press the back line, so that like helps with the defensive aspect, defend from the front. Now for Niang, you want him to stay central, but he will go out wide sometimes, but generally he stays in the centre of them 2 players there. They do switch around at times, but you want him to get in behind, because obviously he's a very fast player. And then you want aggressive interceptions, the same as the forward 3. It stops your opponents playing it around the back as much, and it helps close the gap between the opponent's defence and midfield when they're trying to pass it out. Now for defensive pressing, you want them to cut passing lanes, which basically means that it's harder for them to pass it from the centre backs or full backs to CDMs and centre mids. So that's what you want for the player instructions for the team, which is very useful, and I do tend to think that this helps a lot this year. Now also going into the custom tactics for this team, the custom tactics you want for the speed of the play, because it's more of a counter-attacking thing, I'm gonna say 90 speed, which means that your strikers will break full speed, no like waiting about. And for your passing, you want about 65, which means that you're passing about a bit, but you're not passing it about like Arsenal. You're breaking quickly, and there'll be a lot of passing opportunities on the way with your midfield in the build-up play. Now for chance creation, you want your passing up to 55, you want your crossing down to 35, and you want your shooting up to about 75. And for positioning, you want freeform. Basically this will just mean that you're attacking quickly, which I keep going on about, but it really does help when you're playing FIFA. If you're coming up against opponents in like FUT Champions, I recommend that you go on ultra defensive from the start and you just break, because like FUT Champions is really sweaty, and that's how you combat that. Now for defense, for pressure, because you've only got 2 lines of midfield and thingy, and because you've only got 2 lines of defense and midfield, it means that if somebody goes rushing out, the lines will be disjointed. So you want to turn the pressure down to about 35. You want the aggression up to 50, 60, 70, yeah. You want the aggression up to 70, because with the aggression, then it means that your players are going hard for all the challenges that you make them go in for, and it means that they'll usually come out with the ball. Now for team width, you want to set it at 55, which just means that your players will spread out a little bit more than they would have, because it is quite a narrow formation. But it means that they're not all over the pitch, and you've still got quite a tight, compact formation. Now for the defensive line, you want to set it to cover, because offside trap, I've tried to find this year, it's too risky, because if one of your defenders moves out and the other one doesn't move out in time, then it means that the striker's clean through on goal, which is obviously, like I've said, the main cause of goals this year. So cover really helps to combat that, and I do think that cover is what you should always be playing with every formation. Now we'll be doing in-depth custom tactics and things for different formations and different videos, so make sure to subscribe for that sort of stuff. But that is going to be the end of the video. Subscribe, because this is my first video on the channel, and I will be creating a lot more content like this. I have tried very hard, and I'm trying to do something new on the channel, as you can see. But yeah, if you like the video, then it helps spread it around, because I do think this is a squad builder that people would benefit from. Probably not your opponents, but you know, it's you that you want to be winning the games and have the advantage over the opponent.